The billionaire's name was Richard Cole. He was known all across the country as one of the most successful men of his generation. His wealth was unimaginable. He owned skyscrapers, factories, and even entire resorts. His lifestyle was the kind that people only dreamed of. But for all his money and power, there was one part of his life that was deeply private and often misunderstood by the outside world. His only son, Daniel. Daniel was just 12 years old. He was bright, gentle, and had the most soulful eyes anyone had ever seen. But he was born deaf. The doctors told Richard that his son would never hear his voice, never enjoy music, never listen to the world around him. Richard did everything money could buy. The best doctors, the best therapists, the latest technologies. But nothing changed the fact that his son lived in silence. At school, Daniel was often left out. Children didn't know how to communicate with him. Teachers gave him sympathetic looks but didn't truly try to include him. His father's employees avoided speaking to him out of fear they would make mistakes. At home, Richard loved his son deeply but didn't know how to connect with him. He tried writing notes, giving him gifts, hiring interpreters, but he never learned sign language himself. Maybe he was too busy, or maybe he just didn't know how important it was. And so, Daniel grew up in a bubble of silence. He could see the world, but he could not truly be part of it. He would sit quietly at the back of the room when his father hosted lavish parties, watching everyone laugh, dance, and talk, but no one ever turned to him. They acted as if he wasn't there. Until one day, something extraordinary happened. Richard had organized a charity event in a small town, a place where he planned to fund a new community center. Families from the town gathered to meet him, hoping to get jobs, support, or donations. Among them was a poor girl named Lily. She was 13, just a year older than Daniel. Her family lived in a tiny house on the outskirts of the town. They struggled to put food on the table. Her clothes were patched and faded, her shoes worn out. But Lily had something most people didn't, an extraordinary heart. Her younger brother had been born deaf too. And because of him, Lily had taught herself sign language. She practiced every night, learning from free videos, books she borrowed from the library, and from her brother himself. She became fluent, not because she had to, but because she wanted her brother to never feel alone. At the charity event, while people crowded around Richard, praising him and trying to get his attention, Daniel stood silently near the back. He wore a neat suit, his hair combed perfectly, but his eyes looked lonely. Everyone ignored him. Some children even giggled behind his back, whispering things like, "That's the billionaire's weird son. He can't even talk." Daniel pretended not to notice, but his heart sank. He was used to it. Lily, standing nearby, noticed him. She didn't see a billionaire's son. She didn't see someone different. She just saw a boy standing alone, looking like he needed a friend. Without hesitation, she walked over to him. When Daniel saw her approaching, he looked nervous. Usually when people came near, they would either pity him or ignore him. But Lily did something no one else had ever done before. She raised her hands and signed. "Hi, my name is Lily. What's yours?" Daniel's eyes widened in shock. He froze for a moment, almost unable to believe what was happening. Slowly, his lips curled into a smile, and his hands moved back. "My name is Daniel." For the first time in his life, at a public event filled with strangers, someone spoke his language. Someone saw him. Someone reached into his silent world and pulled him out. They began to sign quickly, their hands moving back and forth as if they had known each other forever. Daniel laughed, a real, genuine laugh that his father rarely saw. He told Lily about his dog, about how he loved to draw, and how lonely he felt most days. Lily listened with her whole heart, telling him about her brother, about the things they did together, and how she wanted to become a teacher one day. From across the room, Richard noticed something unusual. His son was smiling. He was laughing. His hands were flying in excitement. Richard was stunned. He walked closer and saw that the poor girl in the faded dress was signing to his son. For a moment, he felt a strange twist in his chest. He realized, painfully, that he had never been able to talk to his son like that. He had all the money in the world, but he never gave his son what he truly needed, connection. When the event ended, Daniel begged his father with his eyes to let him stay longer with Lily. Richard, touched and curious, agreed. He spoke to Lily's parents, who explained their situation. They told him that Lily had learned sign language for her brother. Richard was speechless. He realized that this poor girl had done something out of pure love, something he, with all his billions, had never done. Over the next few weeks, Daniel and Lily became inseparable. Richard invited Lily and her family to his mansion. For the first time, Daniel had a real friend. The mansion, which had always felt cold and empty to him, was now filled with laughter. Lily taught Daniel new signs, and he showed her his drawings, his secret hideouts in the garden, and even his pet animals. But the story didn't stop there. One evening, as Richard watched them together, he made a decision that would change not only his son's life but also many others. He called his assistants and ordered them to find the best sign language teachers in the country, not for Daniel, but for himself. He was determined to learn. He spent hours practicing every day, struggling at first, but slowly improving. The first time Richard signed, "I love you," to his son, Daniel's eyes filled with tears. He ran to his father and hugged him tightly. For the first time in his life, he felt truly understood by the man he loved most. Lily's act of kindness didn't just change Daniel's life. It changed Richard's too. Inspired by her, he started a foundation for children with hearing impairments. He funded schools, provided free classes in sign language, and made sure no child like Daniel or Lily's brother would ever feel left out again. Lily became more than just Daniel's friend. She became a symbol of hope. Though she was poor, she had given something priceless. She had given love, understanding, and connection. Years later, when Daniel grew up, he gave a speech through sign language at one of the foundation's events. He looked at his father, who proudly signed back, and at Lily, who sat in the front row, smiling with tears in her eyes. Daniel signed, "All my life, people ignored me. But one girl saw me, one girl spoke to me. And because of her, my life changed forever." The crowd erupted in applause, many wiping their tears. Because they understood that kindness costs nothing, but it can mean everything. And so, the boy who once lived in silence found his voice, not through sound, but through the language of the heart. This story is a reminder that sometimes, the richest gifts come from those who have the least. And sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can create ripples that change the world. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that celebrate the beauty of humanity. And remember, no matter who you are, no matter how much or how little you have, you always have the power to make a difference.